The ascension of King William V will be good news for some royals, and very, very bad news for others. So where will the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh's fortunes fall in the new regime? Some of the speculation surrounding Prince Edward and Sophie's future stems back to rumors concerning Prince William's view of titles. A number of reports have claimed that William would like to strip lesser royals of their status, particularly those who no longer work for the family.
I think it's safe to say that change is on my agenda.
In November 2025, a royal courtier told Radar Online that William will also hold a zero-tolerance policy toward scandal when he becomes king, pointing to the disgraced former Prince Andrew as a prime example. The source said, William will ensure that Andrew's royal status and holdings will be eradicated as one of his first acts as king, with Harry and Meghan right behind them on his hit list. He wants them erased from the royal family and the privileges that come with it. Considering that Edward and Sophie are often praised for their work schedule, it's highly unlikely that William will strip them of their titles. Both royals have also separated themselves from the scandals that haunted the early years of their marriage. As royal commentator Emma Mackenzie wrote in a piece for the Belfast Telegraph, the Edinburghs have come a long way from the scandals that once plagued them. Where once they were tabloid fodder, now they are two of the firm's most crucial players. Beyond simply respecting Edward and Sophie's titles, Prince William might actually give the couple more work after becoming king. The Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh have represented the monarchy faithfully over the years. Born in 1964 and 65 respectively, they also bridged the generational gap between William and King Charles III. Speaking to this fact, royal expert Jenny Bond told the Mirror that the couple's age may be key to their future roles. She said, "At just 60, Sophie is a relatively young member of the senior royals, so I am sure there will be a major role for her in the future, and King William will be leaning heavily on both Sophie and Edward to support the monarchy in all it does in the future." In the same interview, Bond went on to claim that Sophie and Edward would be ideal allies for William as he transitioned into his role as monarch. She said, "By any measure, Sophie has proved herself to be a major asset to the royal family, and William would be foolish to ignore the value she brings. She is dignified and elegant, and yet still the same Sophie she was when she met Edward, unpretentious, generous, and with a natural charm." If Sophie is like the older sister Princess Catherine never had, then Prince Edward may very well be the supportive brother Prince William recently lost.
The relationship is space at the moment. And, time heals all things, hopefully.
Where Prince Harry has feuded with William, Edward has provided quiet support to his nephew. As royal correspondent Danielle Stacey noted in a 2024 interview with Hello magazine, Edward took King Charles and Princess Catherine's cancer diagnosis as a sign that he needed to perform more duties than previously. She explained, "Both Edward and Sophie have stepped up their engagements and represented the king at the historic parade for the 120th anniversary of the Entente Cordiale earlier this month." The contrast between Harry's royal drama and Edward's royal service has not been lost on other experts. As Jenny Bond told the Mirror, "I think William will be very grateful to have Edward and Sophie alongside when the time comes for him to be king. With no Harry to lean on, he will appreciate the support of his uncle and aunt, and be grateful that they are willing to bear their share of the considerable workload." Bond's comments came at a time during which insiders speculated that William and Harry's relationship was damaged beyond repair. One source told Radar Online, "The rift runs too deep, and for William, loyalty and duty come first. He feels Harry has betrayed him. Yet when William is king, Edward might become the brother figure he so badly needs." The future King William is not the only British royal who might rely on Edward and Sophie in coming years. When Princess Catherine becomes queen, she will likely reach out to the couple for help and advice. Sophie, in particular, has evidently played an important role in Catherine's transition from Duchess of Cambridge to Princess of Wales. As royal expert Claudia Joseph explained in an interview with The Sun, interestingly, while Meghan rebuffed Sophie's offer to mentor her on life as a royal, Kate gracefully jumped at the Queen's suggestion. She saw Sophie as a solid and trustworthy member of the firm, and the women have become close as Kate adapts to her new role as Princess of Wales. When William and Catherine become king and queen, Sophie's role as Catherine's confidant is only expected to grow. Catherine will need a lot of support moving forward, and it seems that Sophie has already proved herself a loyal supporter of the crown. As Joseph told The Sun, Catherine has found that Sophie is a true confidant and sounding board, and they have developed a mutual respect and an unbreakable bond. Indeed, it seems that Sophie has a good relationship with her fellow royal. As biographer Ingrid Seward told Hello magazine, they have a sisterly bond, and Sophie is like the older sister Kate never had. Edward and Sophie may provide a degree of emotional support to Prince William and Princess Catherine, but they're also likely to take on more practical responsibilities during William's reign as king. Chief among these would be a heightened role in diplomacy.
Hello, Canada. Bonjour, Canada.
Historically, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh have received a lot of praise for their successful overseas tours. The pair have traveled to Japan, St. Lucia, and Nepal to promote British interests across the globe, and Sophie has particularly stood out for taking on diplomatic work by herself. Commenting on Sophie's international role, royal expert Jenny Bond told the Mirror, "The government have deployed her to use the monarchy's soft power in a number of very delicate situations. She is always well prepared and confident to take on more responsibilities, and she has taken on some highly sensitive issues in some of the most dangerous parts of the world." Sophie's dedication has earned her a good deal of respect in the British government. Following a solo trip to Central and South Africa, the Duchess was praised by Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper for what she called her immensely powerful work. Because of this, it's thought that the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh will take on an even bigger diplomatic role after William is crowned king. Edward and Sophie have made headlines for their work internationally, but the couple have also done their share of domestic service.
You have inspired us and hopefully future generations.
In 2022, Edward and Sophie each took on more royal engagements than either Prince William or Prince Catherine, according to the PR agency Reboot. This pattern held true in 2023 and 2024, when the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh's workload was only surpassed by those of King Charles and Princess Anne. When Prince William becomes king, he will likely look to his aunt and uncle to maintain this pace. A lot is expected to happen when King Charles dies, including the redistribution of all his patronages. Because Charles is believed to be affiliated with almost 700 different organizations, royals like Sophie and Edward will be expected to adopt some of his most cherished causes. Luckily, this is old hat for Edward and Sophie, who have already increased their public presence since Queen Elizabeth II's death in 2022. When Elizabeth died, she passed on some of her favorite charities to her beloved son and daughter-in-law. At the time, royal correspondent Russell Myers wrote for The Mirror, "Sophie Wessex shared a unique bond with her mother-in-law, and her grief has been overwhelming since Her Majesty's death. She will be handed a raft of the Queen's royal patronages as a gift from her beloved late mama." Prince Edward may be all in on the future of the royal family, but that doesn't mean he supports every member of his family. Take, for example, his own brother, the disgraced former Prince Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. Reports indicate that Edward supported King Charles's choice to strip Andrew of his titles. As royal expert Christopher Anderson told Us Weekly, Edward has no choice but to fully support Charles in his efforts to rid himself of the problematic Duke of York. Chances are that when Prince William becomes king, Andrew will be pushed even further away from the rest of the family, and Edward will likely provide a similar level of support to the new monarch. Of course, the dynamics here are complicated. Although Andrew was said to have bullied Edward in his youth, Anderson also claimed in the same interview that the two princes grew close over the years. Other reports, meanwhile, indicate that they aren't that close at all. In December 2024, Edward and Sophie were asked to share a cottage with Mountbatten-Windsor and his family at Christmas, and Edward and Sophie were apparently rather upset about the arrangements. An insider even told The Sun that they were horrified by the idea of celebrating the festive season cheek by jowl with the Yorks. The same source went on to claim that the couple only began to enjoy their family getaway once it became clear that Andrew would not be attending. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor isn't the only controversial royal who has made his way to Prince William's bad side, of course. Prince Harry has also left a lasting bad taste in the future king's mouth, no thanks to his constant stream of royal tell-alls.
They've shown absolutely no willingness to reconcile.
A source close to the Prince of Wales told the Daily Beast, William will never ever forgive Harry for what he has done. Charles is the king. He can do what he likes. But make no mistake, William believes with every fiber of his being that giving Harry and Meghan back any royal imprimatur is a huge mistake. When William becomes king, Harry may be pushed out of the royal family once and for all. And if things do reach that point, Edward and Sophie will no doubt support William's decision. This may be no surprise either. Sources close to the Duke and Duchess have claimed to Hello Magazine that they're not exactly huge fans of the Sussexes. Prior to Queen Elizabeth's death, Sophie was styled the Countess of Wessex. Since a countess is ranked below a duchess, Sophie had to curtsy to Meghan, and this apparently was beyond the pale. When she finally inherited the Duchess of Edinburgh title, friends told the outlet Sophie was relieved. They said that Sophie could not stand curtsying to someone who, in the source's words, was constantly criticizing the institution that Sophie worked so hard to support. Prince William has reportedly been so impressed by Edward and Sophie's dedication to the crown that he may even offer their children promotions at some point in the future. Edward and Sophie share two children, Lady Louise Windsor and her younger brother James, Earl of Wessex. When William becomes king, there's a good chance that he will offer Louise and James the opportunity to become working royals. This would represent a significant honor for the Edinburgh household. Although there is one catch, Louise and James may not actually be inclined to accept it. Unlike many of their fellow royals, the younger Edinburghs don't seem particularly impressed by the trappings of royalty. royalty. Louise seems especially wary of public life, having turned down the chance to become Princess Louise on her 18th birthday. James, meanwhile, has steered mostly clear of the cameras in what seems like a concerted effort to protect his own privacy. That said, Louise and James's hesitance doesn't mean that King William won't be able to convince them to step up. Understood to be as down-to-earth and hardworking as their parents, Louise and James could very well take on the roles that would normally have been played by Harry's children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet.